name of Christ who calls us. Amen.
Amen.
I love All Saints' Day. What a beautiful feast day it is. We get out the white to make sure that we know that it's really a special time. I think it's a day to see the holiness of life, of all of life. You know, we get so caught up with the day-to-day stuff, setting our clocks back and getting the leaves off the lawn and making it through each day. All Saints invites us to see the extraordinary within the ordinary, invites us to that sacramental truth that God is among us and in us. Invisible perhaps, but in the midst of the familiar. You know, that's why we bring up ordinary bread and wine. It's, sometimes I wish we had really good wine on Sundays. But ordinary wine is a good thing. Ordinary wine because, it isn't about only the special stuff gets to be used by God. Thank God for that. But ordinary people, ordinary lowercase s saints, that's all of us. We are invited on this day to think about the capital S saints. I don't know who your spiritual heroes are, but it isn't hard for me to think of lots of the great ones. Of course, we think of Stephen and Magdalene and Francis and Clare, Julian of Norwich, Martin Luther King, Teresa of Avila and Teresa of Calcutta, John of Damascus, John of the Cross, Desmond Tutu, Dorothy Day, Oscar Romero, Ignatius of Loyola, Thomas Cranmer, of course, and Evelyn Underhill. You have others to add to the list, I'm sure. We think of them and the way that they have paved for us, and we think about the reality that we flow in the same stream as they, that we are connected, that this bread and wine that we bring to the table, it's almost like a stream flowing back and forth from the throne of God, and we are all taking part in it together. On this day, the veil is thin, and we are all together in this great enterprise of loving and serving God. And so we make our offering, just as they did before us. Our offering of ourself, of all that we have, of all that we are. This time of year we think about our pledge, that even the ordinary stuff of our money, the ordinary stuff of our daily living, is a blessing of God and a blessing to the community when we bring it to the altar to be blessed and broken and given. Our time and our talent. I think about all the wonderful things that the lowercase s saints have done this week, from blowing leaves and giving blood to baking cookies and teaching people to read and keeping the lonely company, and helping families find safety from domestic violence. And in a few minutes, we'll honor a few saints for the worship that has taken place and will take place because of your willingness to contribute. You wonderful ushers and readers, and today acolytes and vergers. If you were here this week, the musicians just blew us all away. All of these amazing gifts that we bring together, and it creates something larger than any individual gift. It was so beautiful at the service of remembrance. People were bringing forward coming forward and lighting individual candles in memory of those they love and see no longer. And then placing them in the sand, and then all of a sudden there were all of these lights in the sand. And it occurred to me how amazing it is when we bring all our lights together to do this really great work of being the people of God. For God is everywhere and at work in all sorts of people. But when we gather in the name of that one, and when we bring our lights together intentionally, something very wonderful is made manifest. But we give thanks for the great privilege of being among you on this great All Saints' Day. And I'm going to keep my sermon very short so that we have time to do all the other work we have to do today. Amen.
Amen.